Thank you for coming out this morning, and we're going to talk a little bit today about the changing nature of writing. I think everyone thinks that they're in a time that's one of just profound change, but I think with writing that we really are. Writing is changing today, and in the last, really in your lifetimes, in the last 20 years, more so than it has probably for any time since the invention of the printing press, and that goes back 500 years. So this is a time when the fundamental nature of writing is changing, and so I want to talk about that a little bit today, and then I want to talk about kind of what the implications are for your futures. Okay, the future is always hard to predict, but there's some trends that are very evident. One of the most evident is globalization. Now, the global economy, to give you just some figures here for about the last 13 years, in 1994, the United States exported $482 billion in goods and services and imported $628 billion. In 2006, the U.S. exported over $1 trillion in goods and services, and it imported 1.8 trillion. So it's going up toward $2 trillion in imports. So this is how much the global economy has changed just in 13 years. In global entertainment in the 1980s, only 3 of the top 10 most profitable movies made more money outside the United States. You might remember these: Indiana Jones, Rain Man, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But in the 1990s, all of them did. So that all the major movies now make more money outside the United States than inside the United States. In global communication in 1981, there were 213 internet hosts in the world. Last figures in July 2006, there were over 439 million. You know, think about that. Something like 6 billion people on the planet, getting up probably now toward 500 million internet hosts. How many of you can remember a time when there was not a computer in your house? Okay. You're the last generation, those of you who can remember that. And you're also going to be the last generation, basically, that can remember a time that the World Wide Web didn't exist. The World Wide Web basically didn't exist in 1993. It was started in 1990 in Geneva. It was primarily a tool for physicists to pass around their research papers. So it was at this particle physics lab in Geneva. In the fall of 1993, the first browser was developed, Mosaic. And after that, then the web really took off. So the web as we know it is barely 13 years old. So this is something that you'll be able to remember. You'll be able to tell your grandkids, yes, I can remember a time there wasn't a World Wide Web. But pretty soon, people going to college, the web will have been around for as long as they can remember. Online language populations, English speakers no longer dominate the internet. In fact, English is down to about 35% of the internet users speak English as their first language. In the United States, the majority of Americans are online, and in fact, the average online time is 100 hours a month in front of the computer. So computers have spread pretty much ubiquitous. They're all over American society. How many of you do not write using a computer? Okay, we've got one person here that I can see that writes not using a computer. Pretty much everybody uses a computer to write now who's in college. So writing now is effectively digital. So what do these trends mean? Well, it's overwhelmingly digital. Yes, we still make grocery lists, but most of the writing that all of us do now we use computers to do it. And a great majority of it's transmitted over digital networks. So it cuts across national linguistics, cultural boundaries. So there's this huge flow around the world each day. Readers increasingly present diverse needs, so that it complicates the task of writers, so that now when you write, you're expected to meet the needs of a variety of different kinds of readers that are out there. Writing has begun to be redefined. It used to be just pretty much just words. Now it includes drawings and graphics, which you can do even in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or pretty much any of these kind of lower level programs, not to mention the higher level ones like Photoshop. Pictures, it's very easy. You take a picture off your cell phone camera and put it on so that you can show your vacation pictures daily. As I was saying, the demands really for writing really haven't changed, the traditional demands. That it's an increasingly important skill to have when you go out after college. I'm going to talk more about that. But it's something that basically all college graduates need to have. And one of the reasons is we don't make anything anymore. Pretty much all of our products are written products in many of the professions. So that writing has taken on even more importance than it had traditionally. So why is this? Well, it's a shift to an information economy. That the planning today, the runs of factories in China today are set by what's selling in the Walmart here now. All this data is being transmitted, but furthermore, there's just such a deluge of information. The problem now, and if you've ever looked at financial information or other kinds of information online, there's just tons of it. You can find out an extraordinary amount of facts and data, but what does it all add up to? What does it mean? And so then the ability to get information that used to be the problem now is not a problem. The problem today is how to filter that information, how to get the information that's really valuable, and then how to understand that information. That's what's really critical today. So the value really isn't in raw information because that's readily available. The value and what you'll be paid for is your ability to synthesize that information. So that's what's most important in today's economy. So the demands have increased. So to be a good writer today, you have to do everything you were expected to do in the past. So what is that? Okay, it's to read critically, to get in and to analyze something that you read. To write in a clear, efficient style. Everybody today is really busy. So people don't like to have their time wasted. So they need to get to the gist of what you're writing in a hurry. The ability to write for different audiences. This is critical today. Many times, if you're going out, you're an engineer, you may write for a technical audience of other engineers, but you may have to write for a planning commission. Or you may have to write for a CEO of a company or whoever the decision maker is that really doesn't have the technical background. So many times you'll end up writing for different audiences, and that's difficult to do often. To conduct research, assess information, and document correctly. Again, this ability to synthesize, to find and synthesize the good information is absolutely critical. And to revise effectively. Writing is something that, unlike some other things in life that you do get second chances on. And so it's critical to know how to use those second chances to get something revised so that it is effective. And to present final versions free of errors. And I'll talk about that, why that is so critical today, too. So today you have to do more, though. You're expected to do many different kinds of writing. You're expected to be flexible. You're expected to work in teams. Colleges typically have you doing assignments individually. Now more and more courses have team projects, but pretty much on the outside, probably most work now is done in teams rather than individually. As I said, to write for multiple audiences is critical for people both inside your organization or workplace and people outside. To emphasize what's important, this is, again, with this mass of information that we all have to cope with, this is kind of what is really critical skill, is to get to what is important. To use a variety of technologies, so that the kind of thing I'm doing right now is the kind of thing that happens, again, in workplace and in organizations and companies. Many times something might start off as a presentation like this one, and then would be wanted as a written report. Sometimes it works the other way around. It's a written report that then is presented in a form something like what I'm doing right now. But this kind of versatility is increasingly expected. And so to communicate visually as well as verbally, to understand how to present information in visual formats as well as verbal formats. It used to be people just really didn't have the capability to do this, but now they do. These simple tools, again, like Excel, let you make charts and graphs. Even Word does this, so that if there's information that's better presented in a chart or graph, then people expect you to do that. So making the ability to write well it should be a personal goal. It's a course that's obviously required to get your degree, but it means a whole lot more than that. I think it finally comes down to, in dollars and cents, your ability to get into a good professional school, your ability to get a good job, and as I say, more importantly, your ability to keep that job. So it's important to understand how to achieve that goal, and to make that a goal, just like getting more fit or any other kinds of goals that you have in your life. You may think, well, okay, I just need to get through this one class and then I'm done with this. No, it's not going to be that way. I will guarantee you at some point in your life that your writing ability will either put dollars in or take dollars out of your pocket. Whether it's getting into the graduate or professional school that you want to get into, or getting a good job, or keeping the good job that you managed to get. So at some point, that's going to be very important. Well, again, thank all of you for coming. I hope you have a great day, a good weekend coming up here, and I hope you enjoy using your Penguin Handbook.